fruit, more fresh produce, high raw meals. These are the three things you should be consuming or eating after you've juiced. Hey there, I'm your health and wellness coach, Marisha of MBody Fitness, and I'm checking in and I want to reflect on my juicing journey and give you some pointers on how you can be successful with life after juicing. Welcome to the other side of juicing, completing a juice feast or a juice fast, whether you did it for 1 day, 3 days, 7, or a double digit day, 10, 20, 30, and so on, or even a triple, because some people out here doing triple. Okay, so you're like, what am I going to consume? What am I going to do after? I've been used to doing this juicing thing for so long, or at a regular pace, I don't know what to do. So my suggestion is, based off experience, is to consume fresh fruit, right? And you can also still drink juice. You can still make juice while you introduce yourself back to chewing. Um, More variety of produce, other produce, your greens and things, and high raw meals. You definitely should have high raw meals. So I juiced for 60 days. I completed a 60-day juice feast, juice cleanse, juice fast, whatever you want to call it. I said feast because when I'm still feeding myself, um, you know, calorie intake, if you are that type of person to pay attention to those things. And it was okay, what am I going to do after? But I had the idea already of what I was going to do, and I planned ahead. So even with having these three suggestions in mind, the number one goal is to have a plan. Don't even just start juicing, or even if you're on a journey right now, don't panic. Come up with a plan. Keep juicing until you have a plan. Okay, so now you have a plan in action, and you probably have already been down this road before, but if you've not, doesn't matter. You have a plan, and this time you want to stick through with the plan. And some of you have already experienced with juicing for long term, but somehow keep reverting back to the same 5-10 pounds. And you want to get into another method or habit that will help you stay cruise control in the results that you just got or that you're probably working on. And the first thing again is fruit. You want to consume fruit. You can still make your juice. You may not batch juice. When I juice for long term or days ahead, it's easier for me to batch juice because I have to get up and go, or I want to have other stuff that I want to prioritize and put in a day that I want to get done. So if I juice daily, that's going to hold me back a little bit. Now, on a day that I don't really have to go running out, I would probably not juice up to that day. So like on Monday through Friday, I would definitely have batch juice done so I can grab and go, especially the quantity of juice that I drink. And you may not batch juice, but you still will have the opportunity, if you do have the time, to juice maybe for a day or two, right? Because depending on however you perceive it, because some people think batch juicing is for 2 days. If you want to just juice daily, then go ahead and do that if that works for you. If you consider it batch juicing 2 days or more, then whatever it is, you do that, okay? But you can still juice and drink your water and drink your herbal teas and then eat your fruit. It does not have to be complicated, depending on the season that you're in. If it's summertime, like, or even spring. But hell, watermelon goes through to what, September, October, depending on where you are. And some people are now still eating watermelon until November. But bringing this up because watermelon is a fruit that is um, great price depending on where you are on the earth. You can also juice. Oh man, you can get so much juice out of this. And usually, I want to say I have never spent no more than $20 for a watermelon because up north, depending on the labor and the delivery and blah 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 to get it there. Yeah, further south is a little less expensive, so that's a greater investment and less money coming out of your pocket for the watermelon that is probably like 3 of my heads, across. Um, and you could get fruit and juice out of that. So eat your fruit. I also want to mention that after you juice, depending on the number of days that you juice, is the number of days that you should definitely be eating only fruit. And I get it, we have a society where we are going somewhere and doing something every other day, but prioritize yourself and say, hey, I'll just eat or do something else at this event, or you can find out if they have fruit at the event, or you can just skip out on it. But if you juice for 5 days, half of that, well, if you juice for 6 days, let me give you simple math. If you juice for 6 days, then you should be eating fruit for 3 when you introduce food back, right? So I finish on the 6th day, day 7, 8, 9, I'm eating only fruit. A lot of people jack up and they just go straight hardcore to the heavy starches, snacks, all these other things. And they say, oh, well, it's raw or it's this. It doesn't matter. Your body was you were juicing. So it was on cruise control of not doing anything. So for you to just come and go with the food, your body gonna be like, what? Okay, so either way you go, to be successful, you need to be stocked up with the fruits that you like in your house instead of stocked up on the other items. This is after you've completed your journey, okay? You want to be stocked up for success. Have your mangoes, your watermelon, your papaya, your grapes, whatever it is, have it stocked up so that you can juice it and eat it and it could be there because it is really the true definition of fast food. And yes, I know, again, we are triggered by other stuff to want to eat other things, but all that other stuff is going to be there once it's all said and done. Okay, so stock up for success. We are now in phase 2, which is introducing more produce into your consumption. All right, you done did the 3 days out of the 6 with eating fruit. And it could be the fruit that you had that you were making your juices with. I didn't make that point earlier. So if you were juicing watermelon, then you would eat watermelon for 3 days. But you don't have to stick to that. But it is something that's in that cipher that people suggest. Whatever you juice, now you begin to eat it. So now your body knows something is changing. So now we're moving a step up, and that is to having more of a variety. Did I say variety? Of a variety of fresh produce. So we want to introduce the greens back in, all those other chlorophyll, vibrant vegetables back into our diet as well to chew. If you were juicing them, again, now is the time. So the first 3 days is only the fruit. Now we're moving on to more variety of what it is that we're going to be chewing. And I would suggest not to cook anything yet. Again, because this is just a short window of you eating this way. Out of 365, however, 66 days of the year, you're only doing this for maybe under 10, depending on the level of juicing that you've done. So, like with me, I did 60 days. I went 30 days and ate only fruit, and I only had grapes. And I do have a video talking about both of them. But I did half of what I juiced in the number of days. It was hecka challenging. Okay. And then I started introducing the other fruits, botanical fruits actually, like the bell peppers and cucumbers, zucchini, tomatoes. I was doing that first. So it was still fruit, but it was on a more botanical savory side, something that somebody would not think fruit, avocados, all of those things. And that really helped my body um, become more alert to say, hey, she's not juicing anymore. She's eating. Okay, guys? All right, bring it in. That type of energy. And I was still facing my triggers and all of that stuff. But this works. So I don't know if you have been stuck again with the weight, or you need a suggestion on how to stabilize yourself with the good habit, not even just the weight part, but just the good habit. This works. Okay. So whatever your favorite botanical fruits and veggies are, bulk up on that and eat that with your chlorophyll. Put some okra. Okra is a fruit too, because it has the seed in it. I could eat that raw as well, but find and sit down the things that you can eat in these phases. Again, make a plan. Each phase you go through, you want to make a plan. Okay, so now we're moving into phase 3, which is the high raw meals. For this example, I want to use someone as being on 30 days of um, eating their fruit and their fresh produce, right? They have not eaten anything cooked. So now we're rolling into the high raw meals. What you can do, in my understanding and how I like to do it, is if you're the person who say, listen, I want my hot food, this is for you. And this is also for the person who says, hey, how can I incorporate more live foods? So a normal day would be waking up, drinking your liquids, your juice if you made it, your fruit. That's a high raw meal 1 right there. Boom. Whether you cut it up or whether you have them whole and eat them, that's high raw meal 1. Then you can roll into having salad, right? Working your body up to having a hot meal. You can have salad with the botanical fruits in it. And you can even, if you want to have like quinoa or wild rice, you can have that in there. That is still considered high raw, from my perspective. And then let's say, hey, you're still hungry. You can have something completely hot, which is like a one pot meal, right? Where maybe a soup or a gumbo, but you don't want it to be too super heavy. If you do have anything that is super heavy, I would actually suggest that you have it in the middle of the day instead. So you would do the fruit, the fresh fruit juice, all of that, right? Then have your heavy meal. And then if you're still hungry, you eat the salad with the botanicals inside a little later. All right? That's if you do eat something heavy. I'm not sure where you are on your journey, if you're still consuming meat or not, because you have to factor into all these things with how your body is going to digest. Now, but if you do eat meat and you have been juicing, I would definitely suggest that you do that in smaller increments, because you're going to put like a big boulder in your body. And it will definitely, or it could turn into an issue. And this is based off of conversation that I've had with people who do consume meat. And they said they introduced it too fast after juicing for some time. So, again, plan it out on having maybe things in 10-day increments, and that will help your journey a little bit more. Now, one thing I want to bring in that is a bonus to include is a calendar, because you can lose track of what it is you're doing with all the other stuff that's going on in your life. This is how I kept track of my journey. January, I wrote that I was juicing, and then February, the same thing, and I just did different marks on the calendar. And then for March, I knew that I was doing the mono fruit. Again, I kept a calendar of counting the days, and this calendar was only set for accomplishing these tasks with what I was consuming. April, I said live and raw for the entire month. And March was, or April, Lord, March, May. May was me introducing the high raw. So now I am doing what I'm suggesting to you. So I'm living this life, and what I plan to do is maybe transition into full raw. Not sure yet, but I'm going with the flow and keeping track of it. I hope that these suggestions helped, and perhaps you now can move on to the next phase of success and not repeat. Or even if you do repeat, you won't have so much damage. I will definitely be applying this again and again and again and again and again and again. And I plan on like juicing for, I'm not juicing right now, maybe in July. I'll juice for some days, and then I'm going to literally apply the same math that I just shared with you in this video, which is to consume the fruit, which will be the fresh fruit and the fruit juice. Well, actually, I do liquids and then solids. And then more produce. I'm going to introduce that back. And then I will have the high raw meals again. So that's all I have to share with you today. And I hope that you move on and get it right, get it tight. Put your back into it. I wish you well, and I wish you well. Peace. Don't forget to get your copy of my ebook today.